Dowski, publisher of BayouBuzz.com, and today we're going to be talking about some funny things. I think Louisiana politics, which is always funny, I think. And with me today we have the Louisiana cartoonist Fred Mulhearn, and we're going to be putting up some pictures. And hey, listen, have your Facebook friends and share this with them. And Fred has a new book. It's a great Christmas gift. It's a lot of fun. So good afternoon, Fred. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Steve, and I really appreciate you having me on here. I hope it turns out okay. I know you are a devoted person to your programming. Folks, he has spent 2 hours trying to get me hooked up here, and it was amazing that he actually did it. Took my wife too, but anyway, we are on the air.
Well, yes, we are. And so what I'm going to do, actually, before anything else, I'm going to post this to your timeline, and Fred, so if you can go ahead and share it as soon as I post it. Okay, and it's coming live to your timeline. Okay, so want you, I just shared it to your timeline, so go ahead and share it. And those people watching, again, please go ahead and share this program. I'm going to be putting up some pictures in a few seconds, and some of his drawings. So Fred, why don't you tell us, if you don't mind, how did you get involved in such craziness? I mean, I was looking through your book, Louisiana Political Cartoons. That's your current book. That's the one that's just released. Right. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us about that first?
It just came out the end of October. We introduced it at the Louisiana Book Festival in Baton Rouge. As Steve said, it's a great Christmas gift. It's 304 pages, paperback, sells for $17.95, available at a bookstore near you, I hope. If not, it's available online, and it's got cartoons from, first one in there is when Dave Treen was governor, so you can tell how long I've been doing this, and it goes on up to this year. It is divided up by governor. I did that because that's kind of the focus of Louisiana politics usually, and pretty much chronological order.
Sure, absolutely. So right now we're streaming this on Facebook, on my Louisiana Politics group, my own timeline, also on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, and so we got a lot of different angles where we're throwing this information out to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it my good college try. This is the very first time, to be honest with you, that I've used this new technology in terms of the pictures. So please forgive me if something initially goes wrong. So that's, right now everybody should be seeing the Louisiana, we're off to the side, and Louisiana Political Cartoons is right in front of us. And so let's see. There we are. Okay, so Fred, I'm going to tell you what we just put up. Okay. And this is, I think, really terrific. We're talking about gambling. Did I win or lose? And we have 3 Mike Fosters.
Now, yeah, that was when he was first elected, and there was question then about his stance on gambling. There's another one in the book where it's a church crowd, and he is passing the collection plate to the church of the religious right or something like that, and somebody says, looks at him, and he's dressed in dealer's clothes, like a casino worker, and somebody says, they say he's anti-gambling, but I'm not quite sure if he's with us, or something like that. that was the question to begin with.
Right.
And that was a big issue at the time. What Mike Foster would do on gambling, and that's just the slot machine has his. They won three Mike Fosters, but what did they win at the time?
Yeah, go on, go on.
As I was working on assembling all these cartoons, one of the things that occurred to me over and over is how little things change. The same issues come up, administration after administration, and everything. And it seemed to me that that was the only issue that's gotten resolved to some extent is gambling, because in the early cartoons, in the early discussion, it was so controversial. And, you know, what were we going to accept? To what degree were we going to accept it, and so forth? And that is the one, you know, the budget, the schools, everything else is still the same old issue, but gambling is resolved to some extent anyway.
Well, you know, actually, let me just throw this out, and I don't want to get too political about this in terms of editorializing, but as you remember, in 2007, we had an election for governor, and one of people running at the time, of course, was John Georges, and you know he had
Right.
some machines, and you know some people were saying that they aren't going to vote for him because of that. A lot of people said that, quite
Right.
frankly. And so the same state who said that just went with Donald Trump, who is Mr. Casino for President of the
Good
United
point.
States. So
Good point.
you just never know. You never know.
Uh-huh.
So let's move on. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, bear with me. There it is. Okay, so this one is a picture of a dude with a Nazi ensemble. Wait, hold on. You went back too much. I'm sorry. With a Nazi swastika. Wait, bear with me. It's doing what it wants to do on its own. So let me let me. Okay, so now I'll do it like this. It's bear with me. It's not supposed to be automatic. It's supposed to be manual. Okay, so do you have any songs you want to sing in the meantime? You want to tell us any jokes, or let's just take a second. I do apologize, you know, for this. Okay, so
Duke
in
Frosted
yeah,
must be a David Duke cartoon, all right?
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. I have no idea. Again, this is the first time using this particular technology, putting pictures on the screen at the same time. Okay, so we just did Foster, and here's the picture right now with obviously David Duke, and there is somebody talking to David Duke, and it says at the legislature, and it says I'm sorry, but so why don't you tell us exactly what the
That's when
message is here?
David Duke was elected to the Louisiana legislature.
Sure.
He first came to the Capitol there. That's how I depicted him, wearing his Klan robes and so forth. And he that was his one elected office, right? I don't think he ever was. He's run for multiple offices, but
Sure.
I don't even think he was actually elected to. Didn't serve for that long, and David Duke is a reoccurring figure. He comes back every few years, and more cartoon material for sure.
That for sure. So let me move on to the next one. Okay. And this one says, and I love this one, have you been a good little boy?
That was Edwards Louisiana, right? That
Uh-huh.
one. That was after the first trial. His first trial in the third term as governor, I think it was. Yeah.
Right.
The, he he had it was a hung jury, but so much damaging information came out about Edwards during that trial that people didn't realize the extent of his gambling and the suitcases of money and the aliases he used at casinos and all that. So, but anyway, that's has he been a good little boy? He says, "Well, it's a hung jury."
I mean, and you can't beat that. I mean, for sure. So let's see. Let's move to the next one. And this also I think is really funny. So it's a picture of Billy Tozan, and Billy Tozan says, "This is great. I announced early and lined up all the insiders." Wait a minute. I'm going to run, says Edwin Edwards. And the next panel has Tozan in a big plop.
Uh, I heard a commentator speaking on the radio not too long ago, and it said that Tozan never got over that he was assured that Edwards would not be running in that election, and he tried to line up all his campaign. And then Edwards did decide to run, which blew away Tozan's chances, and that Tozan stayed better about that. I don't know if it's true or not, but
Yeah,
that's what I
right.
found.
Go on.
That was it on that one.
Okay, and in that race, I mean, they had what, six, seven candidates. Buddy
Yeah,
Romer, Jim Brown, in the Brown
right.
Papers. You had a cartoon about that. I thought it was really
Uh-huh.
funny. Um, and
Speed
uh,
Long.
Speedy Long Livingston
Yeah, Bob
and
Livingston.
Edwards,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
lo and behold, we had a revolution. So let's see. Next one. Try it again. Okay. So this is also really cute. By the way, these appeared in different newspapers.
Right.
Why don't you tell us about that? This one here, let me interject and just say this one here says, next question, who is the governor of our state? And you have these little kids say B. Lee and V. Lee and T. Wong and Ed Neff.
Again, this goes back to the first Edwards corruption trial, and the information came out that he had used multiple aliases in the casinos, including those, and that's what that cartoon's about.
Yep. He was pretty easy to come up with ideas, wouldn't you say? Or
Yes, very much so.
I
Uh,
mean, sure. Um, I mean, definitely. So let's move on. Next one. Okay. Now we have another Edwards, but this one is looks like wait it backfired on me and went back. Let me go back. This thing has a mind of its own, and I
mhm.
apologize. I now figured I have an idea as to what happened. So let's see. Let me go and
Well, you had asked about how I got into cartooning, and
sure.
I've drawn cartoons as far back as I can remember. I was a cartoonist for the high school newspaper, for the Tech Talk when I was a student at Louisiana Tech. When I moved to Baton Rouge in 1985 to attend law school. Started drawing for the Advocate and syndicating the cartoons to other newspapers around the state. And that continued until 2013 or so when the new ownership took over the Advocate. And I still still syndicate to papers around the state, mainly weekly papers. And so if your weekly papers doesn't run Fred Mulhearn's cartoon, ask them why.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this one I think is really, really cute. Like I said, we have a different governor. This one is on the looks like the cell phone. Hello, Donna. Remind me again why I wanted to be governor. And obviously the water is all the way up to his knee.
And then, is there a paper headline or something that says something about the legislature?
Yeah, special session ends in
yeah.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, that was happening right at the same time. John Bell Edwards got off with a bad start on his first day when his pick was not chosen as speaker of the House. And so anyway, that's him at not the beginning, but on into after the special sessions and all that when it turned out so chaotic. Probably the flooding and the police shootings, and all that horrible things happened right at the beginning of his administration.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't see that in the paper, so I missed the message altogether when I saw it. So yeah, he's in deep water for sure,
Yeah.
in terms of the money and the water. So the flood. So let's see. Let me hit another one. This one really cute. We have some guy who actually ran against Edwards. David Vitter seems to be working. David Vitter's re-election plan: raise lots of money, be against anything Obama is for, and never question. I think that one's covered up a little bit, but I think you can guess what that one is.
Yeah.
Really. Oh, never mention. I'm sorry, never mention the THE. So go ahead.
Just never mention that other than having we aren't going to talk about it, which was his strategy for a long time, and it worked for a long time.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean,
got him re-elected senator, and but it didn't work when he ran for governor.
Well, it did, and I think in part because quite frankly, Obama it was on his way out. The economy was beginning to do well. So it was difficult for him to run against Obama.
Mm-hmm. But
he tried.
Yeah,
he tried.
You're right.
So let's see the next one. Okay, now this also really, really cute. And the thing is that the faces, I mean, you can definitely recognize who these people are, and also under the cartoons, you kind of give a predicate in terms of what's going on at that time. Yeah, some of the cartoons, yeah.
Mm-hmm. On some of them I did, especially the older ones. Those right. Are so old that a lot of people weren't around back then to live through all that. So I thought I better explain some of it.
Right. And so this one here, with the passage of his concealed weapons bill, Governor Foster gains added confidence in dealing with the legislature. Vote my way. And he's got his little, it looks like Roy Moore. his gun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got his weapon with him. He was a big proponent of that. And he was kind of ahead of the time on that issue because that has spread now to many states.
Yeah, and it's just funny because one of his top supporters, you remember Bob Namer.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he enter the chamber with the gun, a hidden gun?
Yeah.
Did you? Am I right about that?
I sometimes remembering is hard,
Yeah.
but I remember a neighbor and did some cartoons about him too.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't remember these details
Gotcha.
of
Yeah.
it.
From what I remember, and please correct me, anybody out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that he had his gun. I think he was patted down. They located the weapon, and they forcibly asked him to leave. So anyway, concealed weapon. Next one.
Okay.
This one, Governor. How do you respond to the charges that you are an inaccessible procrastinator? And the governor behind the door says, I'll get back to you later.
Dave Tree.
Do not
He
disturb. Yeah.
and I didn't under that. I think I quoted from the official Secretary of State website. It says something about the Louisiana public was not used to somebody being as quiet, something like that.
Right, right, right.
He was unlike Edwards and all the rest of a lot of the other ones that had preceded him for sure. He was quiet, deliberative, and not showy at all. Yeah.
Sure, and actually, I mean, a really wonderful guy. I mean, really, the state really lost some when we lost Dave Treen. I mean, my God, when he ran, I think he had one other person in a phone booth with him who was a Republican.
Right.
An outlook.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing. In fact, here's a cartoon for you. You saw the movie. Was it Oh God, oh my God? God on the phone with
George Burns.
George Burns. Yeah, yeah. So that would be Treen. Maybe talking to, or that's actually maybe God talking to the Democrats in a phone booth. one Democrat in a phone booth. Hey, get back with you later. So let's move on. That's really cute. This one, oops, I hit the wrong button. I'm sure. Let me try. Okay, I know what happens now. Let's see. I need to fast forward. If I hit this one button, it will take us back to the beginning. And so right now I'm trying to get back to, we're at the Edwards. We're getting there. Please bear with me. So as we do, who was the easiest politician to draw from your perspective?
To draw, probably Foster.
Really?
Bald-headed with a mustache.
Okay.
Or sometimes a beard.
Yeah, yeah, and a helmet.
and and he did a lot of things like ride motorcycles and hunt and fish. It was easy to
and go to law school too. You forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, fly helicopters.
Yeah.
He just,
I think it was really true. That might have been the last one. I think he was really terrific. Let's see, that might be the last one. A really terrific governor, because he wasn't showy, and he was just so matter of fact. He really, I think, really put a lot of energy into the economic development division, Office of Economic Development at the time, and really brought a lot of excitement
Mm-hmm.
into government for somebody who was, quite frankly, so blasé, boring, dull. Um, he did a lot. And
Uh-huh.
I think so. So that was actually the end. We're going through
Okay.
these pictures right now for those people who are watching. We're going through David Vitter, um, and also the governor Foster. So and Dave Treen. So let me close this out. Let me
About
close this
Foster.
out, and let's go back to Louisiana political cartoons. The best of Fred Mulhearn. And tell me, as I go back to this scene, which has the two of us in
Uh-huh.
person. Um, so you compiled, you got different pictures and you put them together, compiled it into this Christmas gift. Is that right?
That's a good description. It's the cartoons from that I've done over the years, from 1980 to 2017, and all Louisiana politics. I've
Wow.
all concentrated on Louisiana politics. And there's never been a lack of material. And you were talking about Governor Foster a minute ago.
Yeah.
I uh, uh, asked all the former governors to write a blurb for the back of the book,
Right.
and all of them did. But as soon as the letters went out, a day or two later, I'd gotten up early and gone to the park, jogging, actually walking, and my phone rang, and I picked it up, and and I didn't recognize the number on the cell phone, and somebody said, "Fred, this is Mike." And I was thinking, Mike, who all do I know, Mike? Who's, you know? Anyway, it was Governor Foster, and he said that he had written something up, but he wanted to email it to me first to make sure it was okay, and of course it was. And but I thought that was just so funny that hi, this is Mike, and
Right. And by the way, I'm looking at the back of the book right now, and I'm just going to summarize. Bobby Jindal said, "It was my privilege to help provide him with so much good material with which to work." I think John McGinnis would probably agree with that. Uh, McGinnis, remember, thanked the material.
uh,
Um,
he said, "I owe it all to the material." That's what
that's
he
right.
would.
That's right. Um, Governor Blanco, Fred Mulhern's cartoons are often provocative, upsetting, annoying, amusing, insightful, uplifting, and funny. Sometimes all in the same cartoon. I've often laughed at his humor, especially when I wasn't the subject of his joke. Mike Foster, Mike, said, having been the subject of Fred's cartoons as governor of Louisiana, I always enjoyed the humor and collected many of them in a scrapbook. Buddy Romer, Fred could find the humor in everyday life. I laughed in spite of myself. Now, Edwin W. Edwards says, now that I'm 90 years old and have served the state for over 50 years, you think people would be tired of reading about me. But that's not the case. This book contains cartoons you'll enjoy about my 16 years as governor and about some other politicians as well. Seriously, it is a treasure of cartoons and will make a great addition to your library. Buy it and put it under your Christmas tree. Is is the way I feel about it. Really, I was real surprised when I got it. I started looking at it and really chuckled a lot. So, who's the most difficult person to draw, and let me ask this: who is the most difficult person to actually depict in one of your cartoons?
Most difficult to draw.
Yeah.
Uh, it took me a long time to get a good handle on Bitter about the time that he was started losing the governor's races when I thought I got him real well. But the earlier cartoons, they depicted him very well. Same way with Kennedy. I think I've see him right there. I think I finally got him where it looks like Kennedy. In the past. Sometimes it didn't, but I would exaggerate. He used to have the big curly hair, I still
Right.
go curly.
Right.
But anyway, I had a hard time getting him, and he's very distinctive looking. I don't know what, but
Right. Yeah. And also you had one Bill Cassidy. Since
yeah.
we're talking about U.S. senators, and unfortunately I don't have that as part of the sample. Do you remember the one that you did, or at least one that you did with him?
I had him flipping through the book right now.
Okay, he's got his doctor.
But here he is doing a talking point. This is sort of like the Bitter one I showed a little earlier. That's him there. And I don't know, it might be some other ones of him. On the cover here, he's with his, am I getting that? Wrong side. Aha. There he is with his doctor stuff.
Right.
They have a cartoon that says every time he starts discussing healthcare policy, he dresses like that. Like,
that's funny. That's funny. Really, that's really funny.
A lot of fun drawing these.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I like to hear people's reactions and so forth. Occasionally, somebody gets upset and been out of shape about something, but not usually. Politicians rarely do. I always think it's funny when I wrote up in the book one time. I'd done one about Fox McKiffin that I thought was very critical of him, and he called on the phone laughing about it and wanting a copy of it. And I said, "I'm surprised you want this cartoon." He said, "Oh, if any politician gets upset about a cartoon or a joke, he's in the wrong business."
Yeah. That is true. That really is true. Absolutely. So, listen, I wish I would had put up more, but we'll put up some of the pictures along with the article on Bayou Buzz that we put up. And listen, I really thank you. Those people watching, please go ahead and share this with your friends. A lot of great, funny stuff, I think. We're always so serious on these programs, and it's just really good to be able to laugh at our governors and our politicians and elected officials rather than ourselves.
Well, sometimes we ought to laugh at ourselves too.
Well, okay, so I'll laugh at you and you laugh at me, and
yes, we do.
and yeah. So hold on. I'm gonna click some buttons and turn off the program. Again, everybody, go ahead and share. So I'm gonna go and click some buttons real quick, and thank you again, and share with your friends.
Thank you.
Okay, we are almost off. Let me go.